Hey guys, so I'm back. I typically do a lot of the stitch twist braids. Today I'm going to do the regular stitch braids. Now her hair is relaxed, so I'm going to also use a braid gel. The braid gel that I'm using is the Magic Fingers. I have placed it on the sides and the center, and so I'm just going to go ahead and start the braid out. Now with the stitch braids, I used to use my pinky nails, which I still can. I don't have a problem with doing that, but I like to use the rat tail comb because I don't like to glue those pinky nails on my fingers. Because it's when you take the nail off, it's, you know, you're gonna have that, you know, it peels part of your nails off. Although now I have nails on, so I'm gonna have a video coming up with how is it to braid with nails on, because I've always not braided with nails on all my videos. So I actually put nails on all my fingers, just acrylics, and not just gluing on the pinky finger to do these stitch braids. But however, anyways, back to the video, I do like to use the end of the rat tail comb, so that I just don't want to glue those nails on temporarily, unless I just have a full set as I do now. But I may not keep them on because I'm constantly braiding, and it just may take so long for me to get used to them. I did do one head and it was okay. It was really tough. Let me know in the comments below if you braid with nails on. I think that I could do the stitch braids with my nails on, but I think it would just be a little bit more hard to just, I don't know, do regular braids. And especially if I had to do a lot of small cornrows, I think that would be harder. I think that if I cut certain ones down, I think that it would probably help me out a lot. But yeah, my whole braiding career, I've typically not had nails on because I don't like anything to like get in the way of what I'm doing, and I want to be the best that I can be when I'm doing, you know, my clients. So anyways, a lot of people, I do see a lot of videos where people do braid with nails on, and I do believe that I can do these particular stitch braids because it's more controlled. But I don't know, I think if I took my time, maybe I would get very good at it, although it would just be much easier to braid without nails. But if you notice, I'm tucking the hair in through the top. Now you may do different. I do different methods. I have different methods of feeding the hair in, but I'm just feeding it in through the top. I'm pushing it in, so I just tuck it in right through the top, and I just push it in right there. I tuck it into the braid in the middle and just continue to do my braid. Now I do know how to do a few different methods. Now there's one method that you're going to see during this video that I do where I tuck it in from the back right there. I just tucked it in through the back, and that may be the method you use, and right there I did it through the top. For me, it's neither here nor there. I can do both. However, I do think that you do get a different result depending on color. So let's say that I was adding blonde, a number 27, into her hair, right? And I was tucking it in from the back, right? Like now. Well, I tucked it in through the top right there. Let's say I was tucking it in from the top, and then this gonna be from the back. Okay, now if I was tucking it in from the top, then that means that the color would dominate, which means if it's blonde, you would see the cornrow, the whole cornrow will be more of blonde, because the blonde would dominate because I'm tucking it in through the top. Now when you see me add it through the side, like the bottom and the side, that would mean that it would be more of the client's hair color. So if her hair is black, the black would dominate more than the blonde, although you will still see the blonde, you know, streaking through. But when you're adding it through the top, the color, whatever you're adding in, tends to dominate. When you're adding the hair through the bottom, whatever color the client's hair is tends to dominate. I hope that makes sense, but just wanted to explain that. But I do different ways, but you see me adding it through the top. And typically I'll continue to add it that way, and then maybe once I get to the very back, then that's where you may see me add it underneath, or in a video you may see me add it underneath all the way through the videos. But I've been braiding for years, like over 20 something years, close to 30 years probably, and I just know so many different ways to do feed-ins. I know a few different ways to do feed-ins, but you do what works for you. Now, the hair that I'm using is the Free Tress Pre-Stretch. I love this hair. I also use the Expression Pre-Stretch. I think that they are so similar in texture, and I love the softness, and I love the way it comes in the pack, how beautiful it looks in the pack. It's easy to use. So this is just my go-to. I just love it, and I love Expression Pre-Stretch. They're just so similar. Now, also, I used to use the Soul Sister, which comes in the orange, red, and green pack. Now, the Soul Sister was my go-to for years. I used that for years before I think Free Tress really came out with a pre-stretch. This is what I'm thinking. I hadn't heard of it, but the Soul Sister has that grip. It was coarse. I like that coarseness. I felt like it had more of a grip, but it also, when you're trying to do the Free Tress, when you're trying to use the Soul Sister pre-stretch hair, it's really hard to use that and not have those little pricklies that stick out. So I like the softness of the Free Tress and the consistency of the Free Tress in the pack, because it just, your plait looks smooth all the way down. If you're, a good braider, your plait is gonna look smooth. But with the Soul Sister, even though your plait is gonna look beautiful if you're a good braider, it's still those little hairs, and I hate to do a lot of trimming. In the end, I want to do the least amount of trimming as possible when I'm doing the client's hair. I like it to just be neat as much as possible, so that I do less in the end. I do more of my work now, and in the end, I'm just doing the least amount of trimming. So now we're doing the back part, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just peeling it straight across, and I'm tucking it in through the top. Now, you might find it difficult. You might say, I don't like tucking in through the top, and that's your preference. You might go underneath, and that's always the way that you've done it. And just continue that method. You gotta do what works for you, because you just want your work to be neat. You want your work to be neat so that your clients don't have a problem with what you do, and that's it. You just want your work to be neat so that you can so that you can please your client, because that's what it's all about, making the customer happy. And you want a neat braid, you want to feel confident, you want to feel comfortable with whatever technique it is that you do. So this may not work for you, or you might find it easier. You might say, oh, okay, I like this. This is even better for me, and it's easier to manage. Whichever method, learn different methods so that you know different methods for different situations, or you know why you use different methods. So yes, so we're doing the back. You notice I add the braid gel along the sides, and I like to comb it inward. I could do a better job at combing it inward, I think, and I'm going to really work on that. But I like to peel it straight across with the rat tail, going straight across, and braid it. Now, you may not even like holding the comb in your hand. You might like the fact that you can peel it straight across. I've seen people peel it straight across, and then they will put the comb down and braid, peel it straight across. Now, I think that's too much. That's why I think that I keep the comb in my hand. I think that maybe keeping the comb in your hand, it may be a little bit more difficult, and that's the reason why you find it uncomfortable using the rat tail comb, because you're holding it in your hand. Maybe try putting it down. But I'm sure that takes a little bit longer, but maybe it gives you more control because you don't have something in your hand, and you're trying to add hair as well, so you're having all of this going on. So, just really take your time, figure out what method works for you, what you like, and just go with that. Build a system and learn it and do it, and become very good at what you do and how you do what you do, and feel comfortable so that you're just ready. When your client comes, you're ready. You don't have a problem, you know, because you're not confident. You are good because you have your system that works for you. You know what you're going to do, and also that you're very pliable and flexible to do a different technique. You're able to switch at any moment. You get what I'm saying? So that's the good thing about knowing different techniques, you know, because you can do different things. So we're going to go ahead and put it up in this ponytail. Now, you don't have to do this, you know, because I'm able to do this without putting a ponytail holder. But for people who are not used to it, you know, just put it, you can control it better. I'm going to split this in half because I feel like it's going to give me a more even bun. And I'm going to take half of it and wrap it. I'm going to take this a loose. I'm going to use the other side. So you're going to split it in half and take part of it. Now you're going to use that to start your bun. We're going to create our bun, but don't use that other part. Leave that out. And let's go ahead and just wrap it. When you wrap it, you're going to go ahead and just tuck it. The loose hairs underneath, inside, right? And because she's going to keep it up, I don't need to dip these in hot water, but it might work better for you. Now I'm wrapping the second half, and I'm wrapping it around, and then I'm just going to go ahead and tuck it, and you're going to see me just mold it into place, and then you'll just go ahead and pin it. And this is the finished result of how it turned out. It looked very beautiful. It turned out very cute. You guys leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.